Full disclosure, if there's no Stranger Things trailer, then I don't care about the Super Bowl. Everybody, Carla here. Reports of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. I am alive. It's 2018 and look, new glasses. Aren't they cool? I really like them. Anyway, I have to start with an apology. Actually, two apologies. First off, I know I said I would be back sometime mid-January. It's now February and I'm just coming back, but I keep forgetting that January is the month that my mother takes her vacation time, which means she's always in the house, which means that anything that needs to be done around the house, anything that needs to be fixed, anything that needs maintenance, anything that needs to be bought for the house, this is the time when she does all of that, meaning I get roped into helping her with everything and I get no time for recording and or even editing really anything. So I wasn't able to actually record a video in January. I had to wait until February, which is when she goes back to work, and now I have actual time to actually do things. Sorry it took me this long. And also my second apology is basically for the fact that I said that I would do a Star Wars The Last Jedi review when I watched the movie, and before you jump out at me and tell me it's because I hated the movie or whatever, I loved that movie. I loved it to pieces. I know there are people out there who didn't like it. Some of them are friends of mine, and I think it's okay if you don't like the movie. I mean, some people come up with some just really absurd reasons to hate things, and I think those are groups of people that are being ridiculous. But if you genuinely just did not like the movie, or just it did not feel like Star Wars to you, it did not feel like those characters to you, I can understand that. I mean, I disagree. There's nothing I really can say to convince you otherwise, but I had a blast. I really loved it. I think I liked it more than I did The Force Awakens, actually. Like, it's relatively high in the new group of movies for me. And the problem was that I went to see it that Saturday when I said I was going to, but so much happens in that movie, you guys. It's like there's always something happening on screen, and I didn't want to do a review and then get something wrong, because so much stuff happened that, you know, sometimes you miss details, sometimes you just forget details because the next scene was just as awesome and you're like, oh my god, how am I even going to do that? So I told myself I wasn't going to do a review until after I saw it a second time. And then I never got to see it a second time because theater screenings in my country suck. The movie is like, it's already phasing out of theaters like a month after it comes out, and the screen times are awful. Like, I have a movie theater about a block away from my house. It opened in March 2017. I've only been there twice because their screen times are terrible. Like, they have the worst screen times ever, and I never get to go, so I couldn't go see The Last Jedi a second time. So I decided not to do a review in that case because I didn't want to get anything wrong. But it's not because I didn't like it. I loved that movie. It was so great. I had so many emotions. I walked out of that theater feeling like the queen of the world. Like, I adored that movie. So don't think it's because of that. It's just I didn't feel right doing a full review without actually remembering everything or knowing that I hadn't missed anything. So please, I hope you understand in that case. And hey, if you like the movie, let me know in a comment. If you didn't like it, maybe don't let me know in a comment. I mean, it's okay if you tell me I didn't like it. Don't try to start a debate though, because I'm not debating with anybody about this movie. Like, seriously, I liked it because I liked it. It's a thing that happens. I liked it based on the feelings I got when I was watching it, and it doesn't really have to make any sense, just like you not liking it doesn't have to make any sense. So I would rather not debate. I don't think that kind of debate is productive at this moment, really. I think the Star Wars fandom should be happy to be a fandom. It should be a place of celebration, and if you liked something, great, and if you don't like it, great, and let's just live together and not start internet debates about stuff that isn't the end of the world. You know what I mean? While I was on hiatus, I actually got the chance to see a bunch of movies and catch up on some of my shows and on some of my books, and I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to do for this first video of the year. For a long time there, I thought I would actually talk about the whole Fox movies slate, which has changed so radically in the last month or so, and I'm just, you know what, I'm not I'm not even sure when to think about it, because every time I think about it I break out into hives. And with the whole Disney thing, and now Comcast might be back in the game, and I'm just like, just tell me how it ends and then I'll go with that. I really don't want to start the year off with a rant, so I decided I'm just gonna talk about the most recent trailers that have come out, particularly those in the Super Bowl. Like I said in my intro, if there's no Stranger Things, I really don't care about the Super Bowl. Like, last year was my Super Bowl, you guys. This year, not so much. Like, someone was playing, I guess someone won, and there were commercials and some trailers came out, but I wasn't really watching. I just waited until after it was over and then looked up one of those, you know, watch all the trailers in the Super Bowl articles online and just watched that. Like, I had nothing to do with the Super Bowl this year. But they do release a bunch of really cool trailers, and they've also released some trailers before the Super Bowl and even some after the Super Bowl that have been really great. So I want to talk about those and just kind of comment on them a little bit. Be sure to let me know what you thought of these trailers and if there are any others that you liked. I'm really only going to talk about the ones that I was interested in. Like, there were a bunch of them that is just like, Jack Ryan. When am I ever going to watch the Jack Ryan show? Like, no. So there are some that I don't mention simply because I don't care. I'm just gonna talk about the ones that I cared for, whether I like them or not, but that I'm part of the fandom, or the movies that I'm interested in, or the shows that I watch. So let me know if there are any others that you really liked, and, you know, maybe I'll check them out. I don't know. First, I want to start because a few days before the Super Bowl, Marvel actually released the first trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp, and they've been releasing stills from the movie for a while. In case you didn't know, Ant-Man is my favorite MCU movie of all time. So people are like, but look, the Avengers, and I'm like, psh, Avengers, sure. I'm not a fan of the Avengers. I mean, I like the movie. I think it's one of the best movies in the MCU in itself, but the Avengers don't really inspire the same kind of emotions that Ant-Man does in me. I like the character of Ant-Man so much more. I like the movie so much more. It was fun, it was entertaining. I walked out of the theater thinking, oh my god, I'm going to watch this movie 47 million times and never get tired of it. And guess what? I'm still not tired of it. I love Ant-Man so much. And I've been so freaking excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Why? Mostly because Ant-Man is my favorite, but also because I freaking love Paul Rudd. I think he's the best as Scott Lang. But more than anything, I absolutely adore Evangeline Lilly as Hope. I love her. She is badass. She's fantastic. She's a fully fledged character. In a female, she's not perfect. She's got flaws, and she puts a big wall separating her from people just to take care of herself. And I adore Hope, and I love Evangeline Lilly, and I have been waiting for her to become the Wasp since that post-credits scene in Ant-Man. I've basically been jumping at the bit to see her do this. So this is probably my most anticipated movie of the year, just as a warning, and I've been waiting for a chance to see her in action and just to see a trailer, some footage from this movie for freaking ages. Okay, I've been waiting for this since I first saw Ant-Man. And the trailer did not let me down at all. I love this trailer so much. It was so funny, and it was also so fun, and just Hope was perfect. I am so filled with emotions just thinking about it. I think the first time when I started getting emotional was when Scott's daughter tells him that maybe he needs something like a partner, and I'm like, I love that line so much, and I adore to see Hope in action. Her suit looks great. I know people are complaining about the boob armor. I don't get that complaint. I'm sorry, I will never get it. Women have boobs and you have to put them somewhere. They need space. They don't just disappear when you put in a superhero costume. They have to go somewhere. So, whatever. If you don't like the boob armor, that's your problem. I have no complaints about that. But she looks amazing. Like, I love the suit. And just to see her, like, kicking ass in the trailer was great. And then the knife scene, like when she just starts walking on the knife and all of a sudden she just deploys her wings. I literally screamed at my TV screen. Suddenly I went, ah! Because I loved it so much. It looks so great. And I adored Scott's reaction to it, because he's like, you gave her wings? And Hank Pym was like, yep, and blasters. And Scott's like, oh, but I bet you didn't have that technology when it was my turn, right? And he was like, no, I did. It's just, I love that moment. It was so funny. And there were so many things in that trailer that I liked. The little bit with the building that transforms into a suitcase. Freaking genius. And also, I know everybody's talking about the Hello Kitty pest dispenser. I know, it's funny, and I liked it very much, but I really like the way that they are using the shrinking and enlarging powers in this trailer. It seems so much more innovative than just what they did in Ant-Man, because Ant-Man was just a lot of, Ant-Man actually shrinking. Now he can grow, as we know from Civil War, and we actually see that in this trailer. But I think one of the most interesting uses that I saw, and one of my favorite parts of the trailer here, is when they're driving and there's a car behind them, and Hope is driving and Scott, I think, is in the passenger seat, and all of a sudden she just shrinks the entire car, right? So the car that is coming up behind them actually goes above them, and then when the other car is above them, she enlarges the car again, and the other car just goes flying away. I think that's genius. That's so freaking clever, and I love it, and I can't wait to see all the other ways that they use shrinking and enlarging powers in this movie. I'm not entirely sure when it's going to take place, because it sounds like they're running from the law, like they had to, like, I don't know, because Scott is now a fugitive after Civil War, I guess. So that's what it sounds like, but I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be before or after Infinity War, so I don't know, maybe they're playing fast and loose with the continuity there for a little bit, I don't know. All I know is that I love this trailer, I love this movie, I know I'm gonna love it, like, already, I just know. I can't wait to see more of Evangeline Lilly as Hope Van Dyne as the Wasp in this movie, and I'm so happy my movie's happening, you guys. I've been waiting for so long for this movie to happen. I love it. I love it so much. After that, then we actually get to the Super Bowl trailers. I think the most anticipated one was the Solo Star Wars Story trailer, because nobody was actually sure it was going to come out. Like, a few days before they said, yeah, it's totally coming out, and then a few days later it's like, nope, no, there's no trailer, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, yeah, there's gonna be something. And I'm like, just make up your minds, will you? Like, what is going on? Just say yes or no. People weren't sure, but then it turned out that they had like a 30-second teaser at the Super Bowl, and then the next day in the morning in Good Morning America, they debuted the full teaser trailer. It's like a minute and a half long, I think. So that was kind of the plan, I guess. And I'm gonna talk mainly about the full teaser trailer, because I think there's more meat to it. And I have to say, I've been worried about this movie with everything that's been happening, but also because of the fact that nobody really was calling for a Han Solo prequel. Like, I don't think anybody really wanted this. Granted, Han Solo is my favorite character in Star Wars, so I'll take him any way you can get him. But people are worried about this movie, they're worried about the change in directors, like it was really abrupt and it had me freaking out. They're worried that the tone is going to be too comedic or whatever, and of course they're worried about this kid, this Aaron Wright kid who's replacing Harrison Ford, because how do you replace Harrison Ford, right? I watched the trailer with some trepidation, let's put it that way, and you know what? I actually liked it. I don't find any major problems with it. I know some people are complaining that Aaron Wright just isn't their Han Solo or whatever. I think they're definitely different. He's different than Harrison Ford, but at the same time, I think there is a little bit of that Ford flavor in there. Like he's gonna make it his own, but also he's gonna have some of the mannerisms of the original Han Solo. I like it, like, for example, there's that bit when Emilia Clarke's character Kira is actually saying like, yeah, I'm the only one who knows who you really are or whatever, and he's like, huh, so what's that? And then his face just like, you can just see the trepidation in his face, and I thought that was very Han Solo. That reminded me a lot of Harrison Ford in the original trilogy. So I saw Han Solo in him in that moment. So I'm not complaining about him. I don't think I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt until I see the actual full movie. And you know, he's a good actor. I've heard good things about him. So sure, I'll buy it for now. I think what little we know is that we don't know much about the plot from this trailer. We know that Woody Harrelson is some kind of like space pirate or whatever it is that he is, some kind of mentor to Han, and he sort of recruits Han and Chewie for some mission, I guess, some kind of heist, I would say. But that's basically all we know. We know from the description, the synopsis of the movie, we know that we're going to get to see when he meets Chewie, when he meets Lando, so that's good. I'm okay. I when they released the synopsis, people were complaining that it sounded like something out of Star Wars, like out of Star Tours in Disney World, and I was like, yeah, okay, you know, I'll buy it. I think that's a good thing. I think if you make this movie seem like a wild thrill ride, sort of like a Star Tours thing, that's actually what I want from this movie. I don't want it to be particularly deep. I don't need it to like tell me, like, solve all the mystery behind Han Solo. I just need it to be really entertaining and show me a lot of Han's adventures before the original trilogy. Show me a lot of his piloting. I'm really looking forward to that, and from the trailer, the piloting part actually looks pretty damn great. And you know, I trust Ron Howard. He's not the most inspired choice in a director, but he's capable, and he's been working at this for decades. And I like his movies, so you know, I have no problem with him coming in and taking the reins in this. I think it's good, and it looks okay. I don't think it's going to be the best Star Wars movie ever. I'm not like, oh my god, I need to watch this movie, like, give it to me now. But I quite like the trailer. I think this movie might be fun, so I'm a little bit more positive on it than I was before. I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, and if nothing else, I hope it's a good time at the theater, which is really all I want. So yeah, we'll see. The next Super Bowl trailer that debuted is the Infinity War trailer, which was okay. I mean, some friends of mine were freaking out about it. I didn't particularly think it was very spectacular. It was only 30 seconds long, so there's only so much you could do with it, I guess. But I'm not really an Avengers person. I like the Avengers, the first Avengers movie, the second one not so much. But Avengers really isn't my thing, so it's not like I'm from the top already excited about this. I did love the first Avengers trailer. I thought it was really freaking great. And I was surprised because, again, I'm not an Avengers person, so I thought I would watch that trailer and be like, ah, okay. But the first one I really, really liked. I thought it was an amazing trailer. This one, I mean, it's more like a series of character shots, basically. It's just showing you all the characters, which I guess it's a smart marketing idea, because I think the biggest appeal of this movie basically is the fact that every freaking Marvel superhero is in it, or most of them at least. So I guess for people who are into that, it's a good marketing strategy. It doesn't really do much for me. So I mean, it was cool looking and everything, and you know, the Spider-Man bit I thought was cool, but other than that, it doesn't really do anything for my excitement about this movie. I'm not really excited about Avengers, honestly. I'll go watch it because the Avengers movies I watch because I think they're sort of like cultural, you know, milestones in a way. So that's pretty much the way I feel about this one too. I'm happy. I'm excited to go see Captain Marvel, but of course they won't show me Captain Marvel in a trailer, so yeah, whatever. It was an okay little TV spot. It looked cool, but it doesn't really do much for my level of excitement about this movie. The next one I watched was the Red Sparrow trailer, which is I don't really know what to feel about this movie, you guys. I think it's funny because as I'm sure I've mentioned before, I'm a huge Hunger Games fan. I was a part of that fandom for a long time. I loved it. I made so many friends. I love Suzanne Collins. I love what they did with those adaptations. I thought they were fantastic and by far some of the best YA adaptations, if not the best YA adaptations that we've had ever. So I thought, just from the sounds of this movie, I've been excited about it because it's Jennifer Lawrence in the lead, whom I love, and it's Francis Lawrence at the helm, whom I love. He directed 3 out of 4 Hunger Games movies, so why not? And it sounds like an interesting premise, this idea of the Sparrow. It sounds a lot like Black Widow-ish, you know? So I thought I'd be more excited about it, but so far all the marketing material I've seen for this movie has done nothing for me. Like, I find it all very underwhelming. I don't know, I guess they're going more the drama route with this rather than the action route with this, which doesn't feel like something they should be doing to me, I guess. I was expecting something more on the lines of like Atomic Blonde or even Black Widow, and I hear the people complaining that it's just like the Black Widow movie that we never got, and I feel that same way too, but I thought, hey, maybe they can give it a different spin. But I find myself watching the trailers and just going, you know, there's nothing really interesting about them. And if it's just going to be a drama about a woman who gets thrown into this Sparrow program, spy Russian thing, we've seen that before. Like, if you're not gonna have really cool action, and this is coming from somebody who doesn't like action, but I think you need it in a story like this. So it's just like blah, you know. I haven't seen a money shot. It's just a woman wearing different wigs and trying to seduce guys into, you know, giving her information. I haven't seen what the real pow moment of this movie is. Like, where are they going? So I don't know. I thought I would be more excited about Red Sparrow, but it hasn't done anything for me yet, and this trailer certainly didn't really do anything for me yet, other than make me wonder that listening to Jennifer Lawrence with that fake Russian accent for the entirety of one movie is going to be really annoying, and it's going to get really old really fast. That's basically all there is to it. I don't know, I mean, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, because again, I like Jennifer Lawrence, I like Francis Lawrence. I was excited about this movie, but then the marketing just isn't doing anything for me, so sorry. After that came the brand new trailer for Westworld Season 2, which Westworld is an amazing series. I watched it last year, I binge watched it last year, and I thought it was amazing. I mean, everybody's yelling about Game of Thrones, and I love Game of Thrones, don't get me wrong, but I might like Westworld a little bit more, Because Westworld kind of blew my mind in the best possible way. And it's a show that makes you think. It's a show that puts the bar higher than most audience members would look for it. It doesn't talk down, it talks up, really. Like, it forces you to actually think things through and be smart and remember stuff. And I really loved Westworld. I think it has a top-notch cast as well. I mean, I've been in love with Evan Rachel Wood since she was in Now and Again, which I guess goes to show how old I am, but she was like 13 in that show, and I loved her. And from that moment on, I've been following her career, and I think she's amazing. Danny Newton, Jeffrey Wright, James Marsden, my baby, I love him. Everybody in this show, it's such a strong cast. And I've been eager to see, something come out for Westworld for a really long time. The second season is coming out in April, so it was about time they gave us a full trailer, and what a trailer, you guys. That was phenomenal. I love this trailer so much. It might be my favorite Super Bowl trailer out of them all. It looks like they're going full rebellion here, like full Skynet, let's just take over the world. And I dig it. I love it so much. I like the idea that from Dolores being the sweet, sensitive, let's help humanity type girl back in season 1, now she's full on Terminator and willing to take over the entire park because she's now realized that she's capable of conscious thought, or is she? But it's really exciting to see her take on this more evil overlord type mantle in this season. Same for Tandy Newton's character, who is just queen. Seriously, that shot of her in the bulls and she's just like in slow-mo and I'm like, I'm not worthy. She is so great, and I'm so excited about this season. I hope Elsie comes back. I miss Elsie. I was so sad when she got off. I'm like, you cannot kill Elsie! That's not fair. I hope she comes back. I really love it. We saw a glimpse of Logan in there too. I really want to see how he comes back because, as you know, it's complicated. But I really, really love this trailer. It looks so epic. It looks so grand. Like, stuff is happening not just inside the park but also outside the park. And what are these hosts going to do if they manage to get out of the park and out of the entire facility? Like, will they take over the world? Is that where we're going? This trailer left me just slack-jawed because it was so good. I loved it, and I cannot wait until April when this show comes back. I will binge it to within an inch of my life because I love this show. So that's it for the Super Bowl trailers. Then after a couple of days, more trailers started being released, and just yesterday we had 2. I'm recording this on a Thursday, so just yesterday, Wednesday, we had 2 that were flipping amazing. Both of them. The first one was the first full trailer for Deadpool 2, which, guys, I mean, Deadpool, the first one, was such a freaking genius movie. It's something that I never thought I would see. Like, not just like an R-rated superhero movie, but an R-rated superhero movie that was smart and hysterical. The marketing campaign was amazing. The movie itself was amazing. It's funny, it's entertaining, it's heartfelt, and it's also freaking violent. And I don't even like the violent part, but it was just nice to see them freaking go for it, because people think of superheroes and they just think of one thing, like comic books, like for kids, that kind of stuff. And it just goes to show that no, the superhero genre is a genre all of its own. So I've been waiting for Deadpool 2 to make a splash, and I'm really excited about Domino. Domino is amazing. I'm really excited about seeing Cable, because Cable is such a pivotal, like, if you're an X-Men fan, Cable is sort of like the pinnacle, you know what I mean? Spoiler alert, he's the son of Jean Grey and Scott Summers from the future. He's been infected with a technovirus, and he almost died, and he had to be given the metal arm, and he looks so cool. Like, he's one of the coolest looking characters you will ever see in the X-Men universe. And he travels back in time, and he's just like really serious, so it's gonna be a treat to just see him interact with Deadpool, because Deadpool does not take anything seriously. So I was excited to see Cable. I was excited to see Josh Brolin as Cable, and there was this one scene in the trailer, of course, after the joke about the metal arm and the green screen and the stuff. That was hysterical. But most of all, there's a scene in the trailer when Cable's walking forward and people with guns are pointing them at him, and he's just like, and it's almost like a Wonder Woman moment, except Cable doesn't have the bracelets. He just has his metal arm, but he just like bounces bullets off his metal arm and then starts punching people, and it's just, I love it. And shooting, and it's, I don't care, I don't like action sequences. This one pumped me up. I think it's going to be great. And also just, in general, the Deadpool humor that we all know and love, the references. Oh my god, when he talks about the arm and the green screen, he's like, it's not like we're trying to erase a mustache. I almost died. I think I laughed so hard that I think I almost suffocated. It was so much fun. And then when he cuts it right in the middle to do like a Toy Story reference, and then the Deadpool doll is dressed as Woody, and I'm just like in tears. It was hysterical. And just all of the references. There's a reference to Thanos when Josh Brolin is like, I have to do it myself, and I'm like, that's a reference to Thanos. That's like, it's just, this entire trailer is genius. I love the shots. Again, Stacey Beats as Domino, flawless. I love that. Negasonic Teenage Warhead, we got to see her using her powers a bit more, and it looks fantastic. I think we got a little shot of the future X-Force, I guess, whoever they are. We got to see Morena Baccarin's character and TJ Miller's character all over again, and it seems really exciting. That bit at the end with Langdall when she's like, and Deadpool's like, no. It's just so funny. So funny. It never gets old. I can't wait for this movie. It's going to be epic. And now it's actually coming 2 weeks earlier, so May 2018 is going to be the month of Josh Brolin. We got Avengers Infinity War and Deadpool, and he's going to be amazing in both, I'm sure. So I can't wait to see this movie. It's going to be epic, and I adore this trailer. I love this trailer. And then right after that one came out, like an hour later or something, Netflix then dropped a trailer for the new season of Jessica Jones, which is coming out around my birthday. I'm not saying it was because of me, I'm just, it's around my birthday. But I really, really adore Jessica Jones. It's by far my favorite Marvel on Netflix series. I loved that first season. It was incredible. And I love her as a character. I think she's so great. I was so excited to see a trailer for Jessica Jones. I love that she's sort of looking back to her roots, to her family, to how they died, to, who gave her powers. We see a little bit of an explanation that she was brought back to life and the powers were kind of a side issue, I guess, which is, I believe that's pretty much what they told Luke Cage too. Like, the point was to bring you back to life. It wasn't just to give you superpowers. So that's interesting. Where are they going with this? We'd see a little bit of Trish actually being a superhero in a way. She's not a superhero, she's just being a normal hero. But it might be a hint of Hellcat, which is interesting. And of course, we all know that the person at the end of a trailer who's clapping is going to be Kilgrave. I mean, we've seen him in stills, guys. We know he's back, so I don't think it's a big surprise, but I think it's very chilling to see him clapping, and just her face when she sees him is amazing. I really, really love this trailer. I like where they're going with it. I like the angle that somebody's trying to, like, take over Aliens Investigations as well. I'm like, why? I really love this trailer. I can't wait until my birthday rolls around and I can watch season 2 of this show because I love this show. It's so amazing. I'm so excited. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the trailers that I watched in the past week or so. Again, if you had any trailers that you really liked and I didn't mention them here, let me know. Maybe I'll give them a try and I'll talk about them later on. I'm not sure what I'm going to be talking about next week. Because Black Panther's not coming out this weekend, it's coming out the next weekend, so I won't be seeing Black Panther until after the next video, so I don't know what it is. I know that I'm really excited. It's got like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, which, wow. And it just, for all intents and purposes, all the trailers for that movie I've loved, so I can't wait to see it. I just don't know what I'm going to be talking about next week. Maybe one of the shows that I caught up on. I did watch the entirety of the first season of The Gifted. I really enjoyed it, so maybe that, or maybe I will just do my rant about the whole Fox Disney whatever happened to the movie slate for 2018 2019 and how it got shuffled all over the place and how Gambit lost another director. Maybe I will rant about that next week. I don't know, but you guys let me know. If you have any topics that you would like me to talk about in the future, be sure to drop them in a comment, and if there are anything that I know anything about, if I have any knowledge about them, then I'll make sure to add them to my list of topics to talk about in the future. In the meantime, you can find me on social media. I am on Twitter and Instagram at girlsareweird with underscores between the words, and I am on Tumblr at girlsareweird with hyphens between the words. You can find a Facebook page for this blog at facebook.com/FreakingNarnia, and as always, you can find my main webpage at FreakingNarnia.com. All my videos are up there in case you missed any, so be sure to check that out. And don't forget that I have a Redbubble store where I post art based on quotes from my favorite shows and my favorite books, my favorite fandoms in general, and then you can use that art to print on merchandise such as t-shirts, coffee cups, computer covers, bags, all sorts of cool stuff in there. So if you're into that, be sure to stop by and maybe purchase something if you're in the mood. It really does help me a lot. I do have some new Stranger Things 2 quotes in there that I uploaded over the month, over the hiatus, because I was rewatching the entire series from the beginning, so I watched 1 and 2. You know, every time I rewatch Stranger Things, I just, it takes over my life. So you can find those in there. Be sure to stop by and maybe purchase something if you're into that. And I think that's pretty much it. I will see you guys next Friday with another talk from all the way in freaking Narnia. Bye bye. Full disclosure. Full disclosure, if there's no Stranger Things, then a few days after, and he's been infected with and as always, you can find my link. We'll have some new Stranger Things